Two people wake up at the same time, same city, same phone, same 24 hours. But by the end of the day, one of them has moved their life forward, and the other feels exhausted again. What's scary isn't that one works harder, it's that one does three small things the other doesn't even notice. These aren't morning routines, they're not hacks, they don't look impressive on Instagram, but they let some people do more in one day than others do in 5. If you've ever felt busy but stuck, this video will explain why and how to fix it, starting today. Let me show you what a normal day looks like for most people. You wake up, you check your phone. Emails, messages, notifications. Someone needs something. Your calendar has back-to-back blocks. You start responding, handling things, putting out fires. By 10 a.m., you've been working for 2 hours, but if someone asked what you accomplished, you'd struggle to name one thing that actually mattered. By noon, you're tired. You've switched between 6 different tasks. Your brain feels scattered. By evening, you've worked all day. You've been busy, but when you look back, you can't point to real progress. And here's what makes this painful. You weren't lazy. You worked hard. You stayed busy. But busy doesn't mean effective. Most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because they're reactive. Your day doesn't belong to you. It belongs to whoever messages you first, whoever schedules a meeting, whatever notification pulls your attention. You're not steering. You're responding. And when you spend your day responding, you can work 10 hours and still feel like you went nowhere. Here's something nobody tells you about hard work. Direction matters more than intensity. You can row as hard as you want, but if you're facing the wrong direction, you're just getting tired. Most people think the answer is to do more, wake up earlier, add another productivity app, squeeze in more tasks, but that's not how high performers operate. The difference between someone who's constantly busy and someone who's constantly progressing isn't effort, it's structure. Let me give you a contrast. 95% of people optimize for effort. They try to do more, faster, harder. 5% optimize for leverage. They ask a different question. What's the one thing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? And here's the uncomfortable truth. The most effective people don't add more to their day. They subtract noise. They don't work longer. They work on fewer things that matter more. This sounds simple, but it goes against everything we've been taught about productivity. So who are these people? The ones who seem to accomplish more with less effort. They're not special. They're not smarter. They're not more disciplined or naturally motivated. If you watched them for an hour, you honestly wouldn't be impressed. They don't have dramatic morning routines. They don't work in some hyper-focused flow state for 12 hours straight. They look normal. They have the same distractions you do, the same emails, the same life chaos. But they do 3 things differently. 3 daily decisions that most people never make. And these decisions compound quietly. One day, the difference is invisible, but after a month, it's noticeable. After a year, it looks like magic. Here's what they do. The first habit is this. They decide the day before the day starts. Let me show you 2 different mornings. Person A wakes up, opens their phone, checks messages, sees what's urgent, reacts. Person B wakes up already knowing exactly what needs to happen today. One thing, already decided. The difference? Person A is asking, what should I do today? Person B already answered that question last night. Here's what most people get wrong about productivity. They think the goal is to complete everything on their list. But the 5% don't ask, what should I do today? They ask, what must move forward today, no matter what? One thing, not 10, not 5, 1. And here's the key. It's not the most urgent thing, it's the most important thing. Urgent is what other people need from you. Important is what moves your life forward. Most people spend their entire day on urgent tasks, emails, messages, requests, and by the end of the day, they've handled 20 things, but none of them mattered. The 5% protect one task, one meaningful piece of work that, if completed, makes the day worth it. Everything else is secondary. This is the priority lock. You lock in your one priority before the chaos starts, before your phone rings, before anyone asks for anything. And once it's locked, nothing touches it. Not meetings, not messages, not emergencies, unless it's an actual emergency. This doesn't mean you ignore everything else. It means you handle your priority first. Then, and only then, do you deal with the noise. Because here's what happens when you don't do this. You let the day decide for you, and the day will always choose urgency over importance.
The second habit, they schedule by energy, not by time. Most people organize their day by the clock. 9 a.m. meeting, noon lunch, 2 p.m. call. But high performers think differently. They don't ask, when is this scheduled? They ask, when will I have the energy to do this well? Because your brain isn't a machine. It doesn't run at the same speed all day. You have hours when you're sharp, when thinking is easy, when creative work flows. And you have hours when you're drained, when every task feels heavy, when you're just surviving. Most people ignore this completely. They treat every hour the same. They schedule demanding work whenever there's space on the calendar. And then they wonder why everything feels so hard. The 5% do the opposite. They map their energy first, then place their tasks. If you're sharpest in the morning, that's when your priority happens. Not emails, not meetings, your one meaningful task. The hard work gets your best energy. The shallow work, emails, admin, organizing, gets what's left over. This is not about working more hours. It's about matching your most important work with your peak mental state. And here's the uncomfortable part. This means saying no to things during your best hours. Someone wants a meeting at 10 a.m.? That's your peak time. You protect it. You feel guilty at first because we've been trained to be available, to respond, to accommodate. But the 5% understand something critical. Your peak energy is your most valuable resource, more valuable than time, more valuable than being liked. Because you can always make more time, but you can't manufacture focus when your brain is tired. 1 hour of deep work during peak energy is worth 5 hours of distracted work when you're drained. The third habit, they close the loop at the end of every day. Most people finish their day unconsciously. They just stop working, maybe scroll on their phone, maybe collapse into a show. The day just ends. But here's what the 5% do. They pause for 3 minutes and close the loop. They ask 3 questions. 1. What moved forward today? Not what you completed, not what you checked off, what actually progressed. Because some days you don't finish the project, but you made meaningful progress. That counts. 2. What did I learn? One thing. Could be about the work, could be about yourself, could be about what doesn't work. Your brain doesn't grow during the day. It grows when it processes what the day meant. 3. What's tomorrow's priority? You decide it now, right now, before you're tired tomorrow morning, before distractions hit. Tomorrow's most important task is locked in before today ends. This takes 3 minutes, maybe 5, but it changes everything because when you close the loop, your brain registers progress, even on hard days, even when things didn't go perfectly. Without this, your brain only remembers the stress, the chaos, the things that went wrong. But when you close the loop, you train your brain to see progress, to find the lesson, to stay oriented toward what matters. And when you wake up tomorrow, you don't start from zero. You already know what needs to happen. Most people end their days exhausted and confused. The 5% end their days calm and clear. So why don't more people do this? Because these habits are invisible. They're not dramatic. They don't look impressive. You can't post them on social media. Locking in your priority the night before? Boring. Protecting your energy? Sounds obvious. Closing the loop for 3 minutes? Doesn't look like much. We notice intensity. We celebrate people who work 16-hour days, who hustle nonstop, who burn bright. But that's not what creates long-term results. Progress is quiet. It's the person who works on one meaningful thing every day while everyone else is scattered across 10. It's the person who finishes their day with clarity while everyone else collapses into exhaustion. It's small decisions, repeated daily, that compound into results that look impossible from the outside. The 5% don't look different on any single day, but over time, they pull ahead so far it looks like a different game. Here's the truth. You don't need a new life. You need a different day. One day, structured differently, feels completely different than the chaos you're used to. And when you stack those days together, your entire trajectory changes. So here's the challenge. Tonight, before you go to sleep, choose tomorrow's one priority, the thing that matters most. Write it down. Tomorrow morning, protect your best energy for that task. Not emails, not meetings, your priority. Tomorrow evening, take 3 minutes, close the loop. What moved forward? What did you learn? What's the next priority? Do this once, and you'll feel the difference. Do this daily, and people will start wondering how you move so fast while staying so calm. The 5% aren't superhuman, they just play by different rules. Rules you now know. The question is, will you use them?